Broadcasting around the world on the internet 24 hours a day at www.odysseytv.org. This is Odyssey Instructional Television, a program of the San Bernardino County Regional Occupational Program.
Well, hey, everybody. Welcome to another show. Jim Hall, you ought to know, along with Caden. And he's 1 year old, and that means we've got to take him out and we've got to do some hunting, some fishing, and get ready for a great experience in his young life. And we hope you'll do the same right here. We're at Bass Pro Shops, Interstate 15 in Rancho Cucamonga, and we're going to learn all about the size of the store, what it takes to run this type of an establishment, what's available here. It's all under one big roof, 180,000 square feet, and we're going to find out about that too. Hunting, fishing, what's available, what we can do, what we need a license for, we'll find that out on this show as well. Caden is 1 year old, it's official, born to fish, and we're going to do it on this show simply because you ought to know. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Great show coming up. Welcome back, everybody. Jim Hall, you ought to know, and on this show, well, we haven't been here for a couple years. In fact, that's when the store opened. And Bob, introduce yourself.
Hi, Bob Miner, store manager of Bass Pro Shops in Rancho Cucamonga.
And Bob, you joined this store when?
I've been here about a year and 2 months or so. I'm actually the second Bob to manage the store.
Yeah, I remember the first Bob, and it was a big opening. We did the ribbon cutting out front. We had all the pros here, the fishing pros, Deadliest Catch, TV star, and even the owner, the original owner of the Bass Pro Shops flew out here and was here.
Johnny Morris, yes, he is still our owner and still very involved in the day-to-day operation of the company, and he's a tremendous outdoorsman and a tremendous individual.
Well, 2 years roughly that this store has now been open, a little over 2 years. What has this store gone through in that period of time? Because I got to tell you, as I pass by quite frequently on the freeway, the parking lot hasn't changed. The people here all the time.
We are I like to think of us first as a family-oriented store. We have lots of families in all the time shopping with us, and they are in and out of the parking lot, and a lot of times they'll bring the entire family in, and we got the mothers and the fathers and the kids and the uncles and everybody. And Bass Pro is all about having a good time and about setting an experience for yourselves or your family in the outdoors. So we love to teach people how to fish and hunt and camp and do all of that, all the great things in the outdoors, and we're also big conservationists in the outdoors, and so we teach people how to do that as well and hold seminars here at the store on how to do that. And it's been 2 years of growing within the community and learning how to be here, to be part of the community, and working back and forth with the Department of Fish and Game and all of our conservationist partners that we do such a great job with.
Yeah, now what does that all mean when you network with all these people, especially here in a metropolis like Southern California? Where did you come from, first off, Bob?
I am actually an original native. I was born in Lakewood, California, and then in '96 moved into several different states, but now I'm back home.
All right, so you're here, you're back in Southern California, as it were, you're home, so you know this metropolis well.
Yes.
But there's hunting and fishing and things that go on, but this little corner of the niche where the Interstate 15 comes around off the 10 freeway, and you're in between the 210 now, people traveling and hustling back and forth to work in and day out, but they have time to relax here, and it seems like this is a place where look at the people in here.
This can be a bit of a sanctuary for folks. You come in, and if you haven't been in the store for the first time, you can always tell when they walk in because they're doing this. They're looking up and they're looking around and they can't believe it. And it really is a beautiful environment in here. You really can feel like you've a little bit gotten away from it. We'll have families that drive as far away as 80 or 100 miles, and when they come here, they'll spend 3 or 4 hours. They will be in our restaurant at Isla Mirada, and they'll eat their meal there, and then they'll come over here and they'll maybe stay together as a family, or maybe they'll split up, and the dad might go out and buy some new fishing equipment, and mom might go to gifts or go to apparel or wherever it is, and we have something for everybody at Bass Pro.
Yeah, I was just going to say there's a little something for everybody. You can do the wishing over here, or if you're ready to buy, you've got the boats from the biggest to the smallest boat. You can go out fishing, swimming apparel, accessories. You have a full clothing line apparel and accessories, food items, the fudge. I saw the fudge counter over there, Bob.
Can't miss the fudge. The fudge is the best. We sell an awful lot of it. It's we got great flavors. In fact, right now during our fall hunting classic, we have camouflage fudge. So you got to go check it out.
All right, I wonder what that tastes like. But this is a destination point because people, I can see where they could very easily spend 3 or 4 hours under this roof. How many square feet are we talking about here?
180,000 square feet in the store and another 12 or so at the restaurant. And so almost 200,000 square feet under roof. An upstairs and a downstairs, and lots of fun and lots of great things to do.
Yeah, and now there's always activities. You even have a chalkboard right at the front of the store, and on that it mentions a whole list of things that are happening. For instance, we're here on a weekend, and there's always something happening.
Every weekend we have what we call outdoor skills workshops, and our big goal that we take very seriously is to really approach the novice in the outdoors and teach them something about how to camp or how to fish or how to hunt. And so right now, this particular weekend is our fall hunting classic, and we have seminars on duck calling and seminars on varmint hunting, which is very popular here in Southern California during fishing season or the primary part of fishing season. We teach all about all kinds of baits. Our vendor partners come in and teach all about all kinds of different baits and fishing techniques. And you can literally come here on any weekend, and either for the kids or the adults, we'll have something happening where you can sit down there and learn exactly how to go out and approach and what equipment you'll need and exactly how to go out there and have fun in the outdoors.
Well, we're ready to certainly do that. We can sample some food here. We can get our apparel here. In fact, you can get your vest, your fishing rod, your reel. You can go upstairs. You can get your whatever the correct ammunition is for whatever you're hunting. You can actually get the appropriate gun to go with that if you're into the hunting realm. The fishing realm, the same thing, deep sea, saltwater, the freshwater lakes, whatever. There's something for everybody. It really is.
There absolutely is, and just depending upon what you want to do, you can do it as an individual, you can do it as a family, you can do it together with your friends. You can get into something if you're brand new at it, and we'll teach you how to do it. Or if you're intermediate or an expert, we can help you out with that too. So there's a pistol range here on site. There's a rock climbing wall if you want to have fun doing that. There's an archery range on site where you can get your bow fitted specifically to you and then take some practice archery shots within our range. There's not really anything that you can't do here related to the outdoors that will help you get going in it. And again, it is a lot of people are nervous about trying something for the very first time, but you don't need to be at Bass Pro because we've got experts. We've hired them specifically because of their knowledge of the sport that they are in working at, or that we are teaching them exactly how to do this outdoor activity, and we'll spend all the time with them that they need. Our associates are great here, very, very knowledgeable, and we'd be glad to help them out.
All right, Bob Miner, manager here at Bass Pro Shops. Thank
Pleasure.
you for enlightening us as we're off to hunting and fishing next. All right,
Let's go do it.
Stay with us, everybody. We're here at the Bass Pro Shops off Interstate 15 in Rancho Cucamonga, simply because you ought to know. Get ready. We're going hunting and fishing coming up. Welcome back, everybody. Jim Hall, you ought to know, and we're coming to you from, well, here we are in Ontario, Rancho Cucamonga area. We're just off Interstate 15 at the Bass Pro Shops, and Eric, gracious enough to join us during this segment. And Eric, your specialty here at Bass Pro Shops is what?
It's pretty much firearms and hunting background is my specialties here in the store.
Yeah, how long you been into firearms and hunting and doing all those things? Grow up doing it?
Yeah, pretty much grew up doing it. Grew up doing it. Went in the military, got out of the military, started guiding in Africa for a while, in Zimbabwe, and then got a job working here and using my talents to help people, sort out what hunting needs that they desire.
All right, before I get into some of the hunting issues, let's talk about some of the things that you hunted As a youngster, first off, how'd you get started? Where'd you grow up?
Well, I grew up here in Laverne. Was born and raised here in California. My dad was born in Kansas, so he had a strong hunting background as he was growing up. And then when I was born, my dad just got me into hunting and got me in the outdoors and taught me the respect to outdoors and conservation through hunting. So that's kind of how I got involved in hunting. And
So you started hunting. What type of things were you hunting here in Southern California?
Southern California, we go out duck hunting, varmint hunting, deer hunting. Go out for wild pigs. When I was a youngster, we had friends that lived in Hollister, California, and so we'd help them out rounding up their cattle and stuff. And in doing so, they had a problem with wild pigs, so we'd start helping them out with the wild pigs. So I learned how to hunt and do all that.
Well, that's interesting because everything has a season, it seems like. Dove season, quail, some of the birds. Then you have the deer season and so on. Wild pig in the state of California, people may not realize there's no season. That's open. You can take as many as you can take. But is there wild pig here in Southern California?
Yes, there is. You have some down towards Riverside and the Riverside riverbed. You have some up in the Hesperia, up in the Hesperia river bottoms. So yeah, there is wild boar hunting here locally in Southern California as well.
Is that considered good hunting? And is that usable? Is the animal usable when you hunt them, or are you just getting rid of a nuisance? They are usable.
Oh, yeah, they are usable. You're usually seeing a pig that runs about 125 to maybe 200 pounds. So it's very good meat. It's good. Yeah, it's very good.
So you can dress it out. You can do what you do with it.
And yeah, very, very good. Very tasty.
All right. When I'm looking for, if I'm a first-time hunter, I have friends that want to hunt, or we're getting into hunter safety for the first time. What's required to get into the hunting realm?
Well, first off, you need to get a hunting license. And here at Bass, we do offer hunting classes basically every Saturday and Sunday. So it's an 8-hour course. It's an all-day deal. And that would be the first thing you would have to do is get your hunting license. After that, then you come to the gun counter, and then we take time and find out what kind of hunting you're going to do, and then try to tailor you into something that's going to work for you and your budget.
Let's walk over toward the counter here a little bit. I want to show some of the guns back here, Eric. You've got handguns in here. We've got every type of specialty gun, shotgun, rifle. Tell me about the rifles first off. What's a great rifle? What's everybody shooting? And it depends on what you're hunting, I guess.
Right. It just really depends on what you're hunting. If you're getting into deer hunting or big game hunting for the very first time, deer, elk, then you'd want something maybe in like a 270 or 30 caliber class. If you're getting into a varmint hunting, I'm not going to put you in a 300 Ultra Mag. I'd put you in like a 22-250 or 223 or 243 or maybe a 308, something in a smaller caliber that would be good for varmint hunting. So it really just depends on what kind of hunting you're going to be doing would dictate what I'd put you into.
All right, now I'm going to go back to the wild pig just for a moment. We've got a lot of viewers up in the Hesperia area. We've got them all over Southern California. 7.5 million homes watched our channel. But when you talk about hunting that wild pig out here, again, no season, open year-round, right?
There's certain areas that have a season on them. Like if you go up towards Fort Hunter Liggett, there is a season, and you have to get tags. I think it's 10 tags. I forget the price of the tags, but you get 5 tags when you buy them. Some areas they consider them a varmint, because they're a nuisance, and there's no season on those. Like up in Hollister, it was pretty much open season on them because they tear up all the farm country. So, but in certain areas there's a season on them, and you'd have to apply for tags.
Now, how would I hunt that animal if I was up in the river bottoms of Hesperia, up out Deep Creek area, whatever? How do you hunt them?
Well, basically, you can either hunt them by tracking them down, just by looking at their tracks, their rooting system, find where their food source is, water source. They're not going to go too far away from water. You can actually call them in with like a rabbit distress call. They're kind of a curious animal, so if they hear an animal that's wounded, they're carnivorous too. So they'll come in and if there's a wounded animal, they'll eat them. And so you can call them in with a varmint call even.
All right, tell me about the shotgun realm.
Okay.
What's the hot shotgun out there right now?
Well, right now everyone's real anxious to get their hands on that new Benelli Vinci. That's a new gun that Benelli just came out with this year. Breaks down in 3 parts, so that's a pretty hot item this year. But people that are on a budget, you can't beat the 870. That's like old reliable. I've been around for about 70 years, pretty much unchanged. So it's a good gun. Price-wise, it's about $310. So that fits everyone's budget.
We're talking about a Remington 870. That's the pump shotgun, 12 gauge.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
And I hear there's a one out there, a 28 gauge. Is there?
Yeah, there is the 28 gauge, and that kind of falls in between your 410 and your 20 gauge, kind of right in between there. That's more of a like your grouse or upland game bird or your dove kind of a gun.
Much lighter gun, does less damage, and so on. Eric, thank you so much for talking with us.
My pleasure.
Bass
My
Pro
pleasure.
Shop is where we are. A little bit about hunting, a little bit about the guns, right here. Simply because, like with all our shows, you ought to know. Stay with us. We'll be right back. More coming up. Welcome back, everybody. Jim Hall, you ought to know, just off Interstate 15. Foothill is where we are. We're in Rancho Cucamonga, all over the Ontario area and so forth. If people inland can come and see us. We're at the Bass Pro Shops. And with me right now, Levi, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Levi Slocum. I am the fishing manager of the store. I've been here since its inception, which is July 2007, and I love every minute of it so far. So it's a great job to have.
Now, I mentioned we were here opening day, actually. They actually did the rope cutting out front, or the ribbon cutting. Jimmy Houston and all the gang were here. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah. Jimmy was back here playing around with us before the store opened. It was awesome. Roland Martin was here. We got to meet Johnny Morris, the actual owner. He was here as well.
Yeah.
It was a great time.
Well, it's been a great time for a couple of years now. How's the fishing part of it gone here in Southern California? Is there a lot of fishing in Southern California?
Most definitely. We have trout fishing pretty much year-round, whether it's here in the winter, where they stock all our lakes out here, or in the Eastern Sierras, all the guys that go up there for the Eastern Sierras and fish all year-round. And then we have saltwater, which takes off, pretty much in the summer, early May, and it goes all the way through the end of October. And then, of course, we have bass fishing, which is year-round, and we have the guys that like to buy their baits all the time. If you go look at our freshwater section, it's a majority of bass fishing stuff.
Well, talk about some of those hot spots here in Southern California. I can think off the top of my head, things like Silverwood Lake isn't far from right where we are. Yeah. There's Big Bear in the San Gabriel Mountains, or in the San Bernardino Mountains, Lake Arrowhead, Big Bear Lake, and so on. More spots?
Yeah, probably the best lake out here to go fishing right now is Diamond Valley Lake. They're located in Hemet. It's actually the jewel of California, is like they call themselves. You can do trout fishing, you can do largemouth bass fishing, striped bass fishing, cat fishing. You can catch record bluegill up to 3 pounds there, so it's pretty good. The other hot spot would be Paris Lake, and that's one of the hot spots that have been doing really well as far as bass fishing stripers go right now.
And we're talking about people that need to be fishing from a boat
You can be on shore. You can be on shore. You don't need a boat. They do offer rental boats, but what's great about like Diamond Valley and Paris, they offer marinas. You can fish off the docks there, so you're not technically on the shore, but you're off a little bit off the shore to go fishing.
Well, from hunting to fishing, what do I need to be a fisherman? What do I need to get started? I have to have a license?
You need a license. If you're 16 years or older, you definitely need a license. It's a big fine if you don't have one. You also need a rod. You need a reel. You need some line, you need some hooks, you need a couple lures, and probably your best ticket to catch fish if you're taking kids out right now, night crawlers. Live bait is going to be your best ticket, and that pretty much will catch anything that swims in the lake.
Yeah, now I've seen all kinds of baits. In fact, you have racks and racks of bait here. I'm familiar with power bait for trout fishing, for instance. Is that still a hot item?
Power bait is still hot. Berkeley comes out with new things every year. Now they have Gulp, which is power bait. Formula. It's supposed to have more scent, and it does catch more fish. If you fish it side by side with the regular old standby power bait, you will catch fish about a 2-to-1 ratio.
Yeah, I even fished with some people using the power bait, and they said, because there's every color under the rainbow, and then there was rainbow, and then there was some with sparkle in it, and there was this, and they said, stay off the pink and the green. You want to use this one. You want to use the orange, or you want to use the rainbow, though. Is there something to it, or is it psychological?
Yeah, a lot of it's psychological. With anything in fishing, especially somebody that has confidence in something, they're going to fish better. They're going to catch more fish. But the most popular color we sell here is rainbow. So
now I've seen people fishing along the bank, and they've got not one fishing rod going, but I see a pole holder, and they got another fishing rod going. Legal?
It's legal if you buy the stamp. California offers a stamp. It's a 2-rod stamp. It's an extra $12 and change. And you can use that so you can fish 2 poles per person at a time.
All right, so I can go out there and fish. I need the license. If I want to do 2 poles, I get that extra stamp. We can do that. If I come in and say I want to get set up for fishing, first question you're probably going to ask me is what do I want to fish for?
Yeah, where are you going? What do you want to catch? when you're going to be there, what time of the year, and how much you want to spend. I mean, we have a variety. You can spend as little as, $20-$30 to get set up for a combo, or you can spend up to thousands and thousands of dollars. We have reels and rods that, cost in the upwards of $1,000.
Well, you do, and counter full of different types of reels here. I see some probably used for, I don't know, deep sea or what have you?
Yeah, the majority of the reels in the counter right here, in the glass counter, are going to be towards saltwater or high-end freshwater reels that run anywhere from $200 to $300, $400, $500.
Let's go down this way. All kinds of sample reels here on the sample poles. And is this to give me a feel for what I'd be using here? And there's a bigger size reel, so is this for a bigger size type bass fishing, or what is this?
Well, this is going to be more for your ocean fishing or the guys that want to do something for catfish or something like that. But this is a higher end reel, so you're going to be spending a little bit more money. This is about a $300 reel right here. Okay. But it gives the opportunity for the customer to actually feel it before they buy it, see how it feels how on a handle, so they can kind of get an idea what they're buying.
And much smaller reel, look at this one here. Much tinier little reel here. What would that be for?
This is more your freshwater. You're looking at bass, you're looking at trout, you're looking at bluegill. A lot of the reels are geared towards the line size you want to use. Maybe not the fish you're going to buy or try to catch, but the line size you're going to use.
Very good point. What is the hot item right now? I go back to trout fishing, something I'm familiar with. Okay. What's the hot? Used to be spider wire a few years back. You had to have spider wire. What's hot now?
The hottest thing right now is fluorocarbon. The reason why is just the way it refracts light underwater. It's almost a 95% refraction index as water, so it's basically invisible underwater. So anybody going fishing for trout, the lightest line possible you can get, and using fluorocarbon usually equals more bites.
All right. Well, look here. We have a whole line of them, and you can get just about anything that anybody would ask for. Is that right?
Pretty much. We carry every major brand, including our own, in every typical size you can want or imagine.
Okay. Well, we're headed for the lakes. I got what I need. I got the hot bait out there right now. Again, is Berkeley's new Gulp. Is that one for trout?
Berkeley Gulp is probably the best. It has the most scent out there and attracts the most fish.
All right. Well, swallow hard, everybody, but don't get hooked. Unless you're going to get hooked on fishing, I guess you can get everything you need right here at Bass Pro Shop.
Most definitely. I encourage everybody to come by and take a look.
All right, Levi, thank you so much. We're here at Bass Pro Shops off Interstate 15 simply because we're going fishing. You ought to know. Stay back. We'll be right back to wrap it up on this great fishing show. Well, that's going to put the wraps on another show, everybody. Jim Hall, you ought to know, along with Caden, celebrating year number 1. Oh, are you ready to go fishing and hunting? Look here. His shirt even says, Born to Fish, and I guess he's ready. We learned a little bit about fishing, a little bit about hunting, and we even learned that, look out here, 180,000 square feet of shopping experience right here in Rancho Cucamonga. The Bass Pro Shops is where we are off Interstate 15. So glad you joined us on this particular show. You can go to our website, www.odysseytv.org, if you want more information about this show and other shows. And we hope you'll come back and join us again next week for another adventure. Caden will be out there, and so will I. You ready? We're going to go fishing, Caden. Here we go. Simply because you ought to know. See you next time, everybody.